Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Reality Poke with me, Knott. Thanks very much for lending me your ears for the next half an hour. I am really wanting to talk today about the subject of healing responses. Now, I know that this is a term that you may or may not have come across, but what we're talking about when we're talking about healing response is this moment after awakening. If you've not heard the episode of Reality Poke about awakening, skip down and have a listen to that one first, because it's important to understand what's going on with us all right now and how quickly we, especially the light bringers and especially those who are here to be the way showers and the guides for everybody else, we are moving through a hugely accelerated process of awakening, expansion, awakening, expansion, awakening, expansion. It's literally our awareness of it that is bringing us into quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker expansion, so that we can be those lights that others are needing to be able to go through their own processes. We're like being boot camped through this quicker than everyone else, because we are literally willing to look at ourselves and do the work here. We're the ones that are going, yep, bring it. Yep, bring it. Come on, universe, bring it. I'm ready, bring it, bring it, bring it. And with that level of, yep, I'm ready. I know I'm here to do this work. I know I'm here to be a guide. I know I'm here to be a light bringer. I know I'm here to do this way shower piece, this teacher piece. When we are putting ourselves in alignment with that constantly, the awakening process brings with it an embodiment process of the expansion that we've just welcomed in, that we've asked for, that we've gone, yep, bring it. And so in these moments of awakening and expansion and energy shift and energy change, our energetic body is being rewoven. We're literally being remade. So our energetic space immediately gets an upgrade. But then the physical form of us needs more time because it's more dense, it moves more slowly. So there's this process that occurs where an energy expansion has occurred, and then we as the physicality are still living in the density of the version of us that was before the upgrade. And it's friggin' agony. And I know you know what I'm talking about. You know, you're not going to be listening to this podcast unless you know what I'm really talking about, because you will have experienced it. There's lots of different phrases for this, you know, the extreme version being the dark night of the soul. But, you know, these healing responses are the necessity for us as humans to be rewired, reconfigured, remade from the inside out and the outside in, to be able to embody the new energy frequency of who we are now. Because we've said, bring it. We've said, yeah, I'm here to be that. I want to expand. I want to see more of the moreness of me. I'm ready to see more. I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. And then the expansion comes, and then the physicality of us needs to be remade. So, the healing response can be anything from emotional rememberings, waves of emotion coming up. Healing responses can be physical aches and pains. You know, we've all had these moments where we literally have to take to our beds. I'm sure we've all had spiritual flu from time to time, where we just know there's no snot, there's no sneezing, there's none of that, but my body just aches and I have to just retreat into quietness as our body literally aches from the inside out, as it's being rewoven, as that energy state changes. And then there's a final stage. No, it's not really a final stage, but it's an element, a final element, where the energeticness of us has changed. We know that that has happened. And so we are an energy being that's living at a higher frequency, for want of a better word. Not that we have to put this in higher and lower, but a different frequency, which we can call higher, finer, lighter, with more light within it. We can say all of these things. We're living in an energetic frequency from the moment of expansion that is higher than the embedded form of life that we're living in. So if we look at our life as it is, we've made all of these choices up until this point that has created the life in which we're living now. You know, everything around you as you look around, it has been made from a decision that is an echo of the you version that used to be you when you were at a different energy frequency, from when you were younger, or from when you were in a different energy frequency that was encouraging you from that state of witnessing of yourself to make different choices. So the density of the solidity of the life that you're living in now is the manifest solidity of choice points up until now. But what happens in this additional level of embodiment process is that we, from this higher frequency that we are now after the awakening and expansion, we then witness that solidity more tightly than we have witnessed it before. Because if you imagine our bubble of frequency has got bigger, we're still living in a structure that is the same size. So everything about you is now feeling more contained, more structured, more solid, more tight than it was before. Because the solidity of the life that you're now witnessing is so extreme from the energy frequency of you that is already in that expanded state. Because energy frequency moves quicker, happens more instantly than density of human life, which is made solid, which is a structured form. So what then happens is we have to walk in these different levels of healing response all of the time that we are saying to the world, yep, show me more, yep, bring it on, yep, show me more, yep, bring it on. And because we as the teachers, we as the light bringers, we are literally saying this constantly because we are aware of the process. We're literally accelerating the process by our awareness of the process, and we're calling it in all of the time. And so our physical form is going through more and more and more and more and more of these healing responses, quicker and quicker and quicker. So this period of time right now, I'll be honest, has been pretty horrific for me personally. I believe that we're going through an eclipse period right now. And that time of this eclipse doorway opening spiritual phraseology of what's occurring now has had so many of us saying, oh, it's an eclipse. Oh, I'm ready for more. And in that witnessing of ourselves of, ooh, I'm ready for more, it's an eclipse, woohoo. What we do on every spiritual level there is we go, yes. And a choice is made and a decision is made, and the technologies of the universe then put into place an awakening, an expansion, and a change. More light, more frequency, higher vibrational energy. And all of that that's going on then makes, like I say, the physical form go, I can't fit this anymore. You know, it's kind of like imagining that we were quite happy trundling around as a VW Beetle, and we were really awesome as a VW Beetle, but at some point a VW Beetle isn't gonna cut it anymore. at some point we're going to have to shift into being a Ferrari. And there's going to be quite a lot of physical remaking and reconfiguring and rejiggering to allow our physical form to take itself into an energy frequency which can hold the speed and the power and the acceleration of a Ferrari. So this is the idea of healing response put in very basic terms. Literally remaking ourselves, reweaving ourselves from essences and solidities where, yeah, we may have been really, really good at that level of solidity, but we only thought we were good at that level of solidity. And then we realize through the next expansion, oh my God, no, I need more. This body needs more capability. This physicality, this life in which I'm living, these choices that I'm living in the echoes of, they all need to shift and change. Like everything needs to change if I'm going to embody the energy frequency that I now am. So if you have ever been through what I'm talking about as a healing response, what I'm actually saying is it's an embodiment response rather than healing response. Because I know that that's a phrase that's been used, but embodiment response works so much better. And if you have ever been through one of these embodiment processes, an embodiment response, where you've had literally tears and all your emotions and all of your rage comes swimming up to the surface, or you've had the spiritual flu, or your body's aching, or suddenly you're looking around at the world and you're going, what the how did I get here? This doesn't fit me anymore. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Then hopefully this episode today is speaking to you and will give you a little bit of peace that it's not just you. Trust me, it's not just you. So I'm going to hand it over to the crew now, and I will be back later to see how we can bring this all back together and discuss it a little bit further as human you and human me trying to muddle through in this life of being embodiment, always improving itself. We are happy to step forward to discuss with you at this time the re-embodiment of yourself and the process and technology that goes into the remaking of you each and every time you are moving into a differing frequency of your physicality of you. Now, firstly, we must ask you to put aside your belief of the necessity for you to expand into a higher frequency. This is indeed a learning and a language that has been used to bring forward a belief and an understanding of how you are progressing as an energy being of light in this world. And what we wish for you to understand in this moment is the technology that lives behind the light and enlightening of yourself as an energy frequency which is witnessing itself in being a physical form in the density of this physical existence in which you find yourself. And we use the word technology simply as a language to help you to see the outsideness of you, of this energy of technology. It is easier for you to frame in yourself that energy is technology. Energy is a way of creating a mechanical outcome, a physical outcome, a technological outcome. And you use these words to allow yourself to understand how change occurs. A technological change is a physical change. A manifest change is a physical change. All of these words that have been used in these language patterns to help you to understand yourself more deeply have indeed created a flaw in understanding that at no point are you ever unenlightened. And what do we mean by this? At every single stage of existence, you have within you a connection to the fullest extent of light that is available for all beings of creation itself. All of you are living with a connection to and a piece of and an extension of the light of all that is. That is who you are as an energy being brought forward into this solid world. It is an energy which has within it the full potentiality of all things. And that is you. That is what you are created from. And so at no point have you ever not been connected to the fullness of this light. But from a human perspective, it has been created as a solid reality that you are in the dark, if you wish, and are required to uncover more light. This is incorrect. You are creating a solid manifest world here now, based on the energetic solidity of beliefs and understandings that you are made manifest within. And one of these beliefs is that you are not the fullest light of you, and that you are on a progression to become more of the light of you. This we wish for you to understand. The technology of the full aspect of life, energy, frequency, all that is you at every single moment of your existence. That is who you are. And yet the weaving of this world, the structure of this world, has created within you a translation tool of the structured blueprint of life as human here on this planet that makes you an outcome of the belief that you are not that. And so, firstly, we must speak to the illusion of that belief. Because indeed, you as human form, the physicality of you, the mental aspects of you, are living in this belief of your restriction of yourself. And so we must speak to the understanding of that in this first instant. And so the first instance is, as has been described, that you are moving through an embodiment process. In every moment of expansion, and we can use the term enlightenment, you are from this perspective allowing your energy frequency to hold within it more light. From that higher space, the more expanded state. And you see the difficulty here in the language used of how we must perpetuate the belief structure for you to in some way unweave yourself from it. But we will use these languages and these terms to help you to understand. And so, yes, returning to the enlightenment. This is the awakening moment that we have spoken of before. The awakening that allows a new level of expansion to find its way to you. And in that expansion, we can give the illusion of a bubble that literally expands into a more wider state, a more enlightened state. Everything about your energy frequency from that moment becomes lighter. Using these phraseologies, it becomes less dense. And so your energy frequency expands, and therefore, as has been explained, the solidity of you goes through a process of embodiment of the new energy frequency that you already are from the moment of requesting of the more enlightenment. The more light has been let in, the energy shift of you has changed. You have expanded. You have allowed in more of the moreness of you. You have created a differing energy frequency immediately. And then what must happen is the density of you that is made manifest form here now, the solidifying of that energy, comes into a state of embodiment. And the first thing that occurs in this state of embodiment is the witnessing of the differential between the energy frequency that you now are and the density of the choices of the energy that you have made solid around you from the differing energy frequencies of yourself that have been up until this point. And as the physicality of you witnesses itself feeling more restriction, feeling more discomfort, feeling more out of alignment with life than before, you move into a state of difficulty and potential suffering. As many of you now have lived through many of these moments of remaking, you are more aware of the times where your physical being says to you, stop. We must rest. Stop. We must process this emotion. Stop. We must bear witness to these energies that are leaving our body. Stop. Be still. And yet so many times we choose to ignore these moments of embodiment, and it is in the ignoring of these moments of embodiment that we are in effect choosing to suffer from them. Because suffering occurs when we are not allowing the process to be who we are in that moment. And these embodiment processes are required. For in this world, where the illusion has been created that you are separate from the light of all things, at all times, in all moments, it is necessary to move through the processes and the solid understandings and the weavings of this world. But now it can be done with a true awareness of it. And in that true awareness of it, you allow yourself to be in a state of knowing that when an expansion is brought into your energy body, the physicalness of you will require a reconfiguring. And it may be sometimes the reconfiguring is more extreme in its requirement of change than in other times. But if you are aware of yourself, if you are able to witness these moments of embodiment, And be clear with yourself. When you witness the emotion rise within you, your physical being is releasing all that has been contained within it as memory form and weaving of the structure of you. For the structure of you is making decisions based upon the memories and the echoes and the choices and the beliefs of the energy frequencies of where you have been until this point. And so all must be rewoven to allow differing choices to be made. And in the reweaving, the enmeshed and entangledness of you as historic physical being is let go, is released. And therefore you will perhaps experience memories, history, beliefs, emotions coming to the surface as they are released. And this has been the subject of many teachers who will have you look at what has been released as though it can tell you more about itself that is useful to you. We, however, would like you to know that you can move through this process without analysis. For that which is being released is what is no longer required for you to be held within your physical framework, to be held within this physicality of you. It is allowed and it is recommended to allow this process to accentuate itself as quickly as possible. Allow those elements to be released for the reweaving of you. And when you feel yourself through this witnessing of you, going through this embodiment process, and you feel aches within your being, aches within your physicality, within your bones, if you will, again, listen, witness, and be allowing of the process as your physicalness is rewoven. The new blueprint is put in place. And we very much liked the description of changing yourself from one vehicle to another. For the new vehicle being capable of more power, more ability to maneuver in this world. And also being aware in these embodiment moments of the witnessing of the tightness of the experience of existence that you have been living in until now. Again, witness the tightness. And that witnessing is the letting go of it. Because never again will you, in the witnessing of that tightness, make the same choices and decisions for yourself now that you have shone a light clearly on the tightness that has been created from the choices that have been made up until this point. It is truly the witnessing which is the releasing. But we would like to remind you, once again, that all of this belief is based on the structured, linear, manifest belief world that you have been made manifest into. Every piece of the belief of the linear structure of expansion linear structure of higher than, more lighter than, more expanded than. All of this is a part of the illusionary state of the structure in which you are living. And for many of you now, it is time to understand that you can release yourself from the belief of that structure by witnessing the structure. And this is why we here are bringing this additional level to this conversation here. Because unless we provide a different perspective, the perpetuation of the existing solid state of belief is never changed, is never witnessed, is never seen as a differential and a tightness of an embodiment process, which is the moving beyond that structure of belief itself. And in that, you as the light bringers here, you as the teachers and the visionaries and those who are creating this world anew, are allowed to look beyond every single structure and belief of this linear, manifest, solid, structured existence. Well then, as usual, I wasn't actually prepared for where that one was going to take us today. But how interesting. You see, as I said, I've been talking into this space for quite some time now of this embodiment process and how we can navigate it as humans, how we can make it less painful simply by understanding it. But I must admit, even though in my own personal channels we've kind of touched into this aspect of every single piece of existence being created from the belief system that we're in as we're thinking about it, but I'd never actually put that piece together. And it feels like, well, I should have done, because I've actually had all of these pieces of the jigsaw, together for some time, but I'd never actually seen that way of configuring all of the pieces. The embodiment process is actually part of an embodiment process of the letting go of all of it. I don't know, does that make any sense? I don't know, even my brain's a little bit twizzled by this one, to be honest. Yeah, wow. It feels like somebody's just given me a new lid to my jigsaw box, that the picture's just changed. What I thought was putting together as a picture of a horse, and actually now I'm looking at it, it's like the picture of the horse is like one tiny little piece down the bottom. So yeah, I'm going to ponder on this one for a little bit, because this has made me think too. As a teacher, as a guide, it's really important that we understand the tangibilities of things from this realm, if you like, through these understandings of life and what they are, because everybody that we're working with is coming from that language, that understanding, that solidity, that structure, that belief. But for me, this is what my work is to bring these next levels of thinking into the world, to allow us all to just look at pieces that we thought were really solid that actually are still created from interwoven beliefs and tightness of manifestation. So, interesting. And I love the way that I'm in these podcasts also being taken into new places. You know, we as teachers and guides, we've got to always be willing to move outside into the places where we're scratching our heads and going, huh? Because unless we do, we're not creating anything new. And it's really important now in this world that we are all creating from the new. And we're not just rehashing the same. We're not just re-embodying and re-solidifying the same things over and over and over again. So I'm going to ask actually for some additional guidance around this. I am going to look into this deeper myself, because this really feels like something that we need to be aware of. But it doesn't take away from the fact that we are still living in this solid manifest world, and we're still living through the experience of the solidity of this, which means that the truth is we are still going through embodiment processes which are friggin' difficult. So in this reality poke, I hope we've found a little bit of piece of understanding of what we are already in and how we can navigate that easier by the witnessing of it, but also giving ourselves the opportunity to see all of that as a chance to expand beyond it, and knowing that we're not just that. We're always, always, always so much more than we believe ourselves to be. So thank you for joining me on today's Reality Poke. I will see you all next week. If you would like to find out more about me and the work that I do and how you could work with me and the crew, I'd invite you to go over to my website on uninvented.life. I'd also really like to encourage you to feed back to me your comments and your ideas and what comes up for you after each one of these episodes. I'd love to hear. Enjoy your pondering this week. I will enjoy my pondering this week, and I will see you on the next episode of Reality Poke. Bye for now. Huge love.